Okay, everyone, let's just very quickly go through some examples of indirect questions because we had a couple in our translation in our class yesterday. And let's begin with some grammar, which we've got here on this page. So look through here and up here. Look through all of this fascinating information, and then after you've paused it and looked through all of this, have a go on the exercise which is in the bottom right-hand corner. So we've got here these different indirect questions. Look particularly for all of those questioning words, the quids, etc., etc., etc. So I think it gives you examples of some of the questions that are here: the quando, the cur, the quot, quantus, the quid, etc., etc. Okay, pause it, take a look at it, and then we'll go through exercise 153 together. Question 1. Hannibal, militares rogat cur desperent. Okay, it's all to do with the primary and the the primary indicative and the historic indicative, as it calls it there, and then the primary subjunctive and the historic subjunctives that we've got afterwards. So the first one, Hannibal, rogat, present tense, is asking his soldiers. So because rogat here, rogat, is a primary, that means that obviously the following one, desperent, is also going to be a primary that we've got as in a present subjunctive. So Hannibal asks the soldiers why. Cur there is our question word. Why they desperant, why they are despairing. Hannibal asks the soldiers why they are despairing. Sentence 2. Explorates nuntiant quantus sit hostium exercitus. The spies, nuntiant, primary again because it's present. If you look over on the left-hand side, we can see the different tenses. Present tense up here. So, Hannibal, I'm sorry, not Hannibal at all. The spies are announcing quantus, how great, exercitus, the army, hostium of the enemy, sit is. Sit there is the subjunctive. So because the initial nuntiant is primary present tense, primary because it's present tense, then our verb here, sit, is going to be primary present tense form of sum. So how great the army of the enemy is. Nostri cognoverant. Our men had learnt, ubi hostes se abderent. Now here, cognoverant is not primary anymore. It is going to be a historic indicative. So here we have our men cognoverant, pluperfect. Our men had learnt, ubi, where, hostes, the enemy, abderent, se, were hiding themselves. Our men had learnt where the enemy were hiding. So because this initial verb, abderent, is pluperfect, let's look over here on the left-hand side. Here we go, here's my pluperfect. That means that we know that this is going to be a historic indicative, which means it's going to be one of these three. Then we have abderant, and I know looking at abderent it's going to be here, this one. It's going to be imperfect subjunctive, so it's our men had learnt where the enemy were hiding. Very good. Next bit. Caesar intellexit. Caesar had, no, I'm sorry, not at all. Caesar understood, not pluperfect, it's just perfect. Caesar understood why so many ships amisai essent. We've got here amisai essent, so here we've actually got the subjunctive in the passive. So Caesar understood why so many ships were lost. Amisai essent. Caesar understood why so many ships amisai essent were lost. Caesar certior factus erat. Caesar had been certiorum facio. Is Caesar had been informed in quanto, in how great, in what great danger legio esset, the legion was in. Caesar had been informed in quanto. Quanto here is our questioning word, making it an indirect question. Caesar had been informed in what great danger the legion esset was in. Factus erat is going to be the pluperfect, so it's going to be a historic infinitive, pluperfect passive obviously there, and then it's in what great danger the legio, the army, was in. So, next bit is going to be Titus Livius, Livy here. Titus Livius, Livy, narat, is telling qualia of what sort, what type of tormenta, of engines, Archimedes, in venerit here, the relatively rare form of the perfect subjunctive that we've got here. So Titus Livy, narat, is telling, present tense, Therefore, it's going to be followed by one of these three, and in this case, it is going to be the perfect. Titus Livy is telling what sorts of engines Archimedes has invented. The next bit we've got Romani, the Romans saw what Hannibal, so viderunt is going to be the perfect tense. The Romans saw, historic indicative, saw what Hannibal, quid, our question word, what Hannibal facturus esset was going to do. It's going to be here, the future subjunctive is formed by the future participle, as it says up in this section, is supplied by the future participle with sm in the historic. So, the Romans saw what Hannibal was going to do. Next bit, we've got Caesar sensit. Caesar felt how great vis tempestatis, the strength of the storm, fuesset, had been. Caesar, fuesset is obviously here the pluperfect subjunctive here. Caesar felt how great, quanta, the question word, how great the strength of the storm had been. Schisne, do you know quantas copias Caesar transportaturus sit? Do you know how many troops Caesar transportaturus sit? Transportaturus is here, future participle followed by the present form of sum, so it is going to be future participle followed by the present form of sum. Do you know quantas, what number of copias, troops, Caesar is going to bring over? So again, schisne, present tense in a question, therefore it's going to be followed by one of the three primary subjunctives, and in this case it's the future participle with the present form of sum. Last of all, salapitani non ignorabant quis litteras composuit. So, the salapes non ignorabant were not knowing, quis, who, composuit, who had composed the letters. Ignorabant there is the imperfect, so that is going to be a historic indicative. So the rogabat here is the ignorabant there. So there it is, as we said, the people of Salapitani were not knowing. Quis is the question word. Who, composuit, who had, so it's the pluperfect subjunctive there for composuit, who had composed the letters. So we've got various different, obviously, examples of the question words there. Look through all those, and I can put another indirect question later on. Thank you very much.